I've seen since I've been here. And this is because this is an issue that matters so much to Americans. This is an issue that doesn't have political boundaries. It's an issue that Republicans and Democrats should never fight about. I think this is something that was worth fighting for. You see, the women behind me are going to tell you stories that you've never heard before. These are unimaginable horrors that they've lived with for their entire lives since they were very, very young. But these are also similar stories that many children, teenagers, women, and even men are enduring nightmares right now as we speak.
And breaking news involving a woman who claims Donald Trump raped her when she was 13.
KCAL 9's Peter Dowd is live in Woodland Hills now, where the woman was set to go public less than an hour ago. Peter.
Yeah, Lena and Juan, definitely some confusion here since that woman who was accusing Trump of raping her when she was a child decided not to appear. Instead, her attorney came out and said that the woman was too afraid to speak. Media from all over the world came out to hear what that woman had to say. Now, this was a planned news conference, but it didn't happen. The woman had filed a lawsuit alleging Trump sexually assaulted her at several different parties in 1994 when she was only 13 years old. Attorney Lisa Bloom said the woman, who has gone by the pseudonym Jane Doe, had received numerous terrible threats and gave a short statement.
Jane Doe has received numerous threats today, as have all the Trump accusers that I have represented. She is living in fear. She has decided that she is too afraid to show her face. She's been here all day, ready to do it, but unfortunately, she's in terrible fear.
The shame does not fall on these brave, courageous women. The shame falls on every single person that coldly turned a blind eye to their abuse. The shame falls on every single person that enabled it. The shame falls on every single person that took money to continue it. And the shame falls on the people in power over the past several decades that protected the monster, Jeffrey Epstein, and his cabal that continued a nightmare. Anyone that is being abused, it is not your fault. You should live with no guilt or fear or shame. All of the fault belongs to the evil people that do these things to the innocent.
How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles? Senator Booker also said we should have bipartisan agreement. I think that's a great idea. We should have bipartisan agreement. How about we all come together and say, let's stop murders? How about we all come together and say, let's stop rape? How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
President Trump, you have so much influence and power in this situation. Please use that influence and power to help us.
This is not just my story. It is about every survivor who carries invisible scars. It's about the weight we live with daily. It is about the families broken and the future stolen. So I ask you, President Trump and members of Congress, why do we continue to cover up sexual abuse and assault? Who are we covering for? Let the public know the truth.
Mr. President Donald J. Trump, I am a registered Republican, not that that matters because this is not political. However, I cordially invite you to the Capitol to meet me in person so you can understand this is not a hoax. We are real human beings. This is real trauma.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like...
You ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this.
In February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said I was asked a question about the client list.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed. And my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by it.
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president.
Voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything.
Donald.
Yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is.
Jeffrey.
Nor will I, since I also know what it is.
And he had a very interesting life. I won't go any more than that because you're Boy Scouts, so I'm not going to tell you what he did. Should I tell you? Should I tell you? Oh, you're Boy Scouts, but you know life. You know life. He got bored with this life of yachts and sailing and all of the things he did in the south of France and other places. You won't get bored, right? You know, truthfully, your workers, you'll get bored too, believe me. Of course, having a few good years like that isn't so bad.
Donald.
We have certain things in common, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Yes, we do, come to think of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
Mr. Vice President, Julie Carr-Smythe from the Associated Press. I guess I'm going to be that person. There are some protesters outside accusing the GOP of protecting pedophiles, and we're wondering what you think are the reasons the U.S. government should shield the client list of Epstein from the public, and what you have to say about any relevance to that.
Well, let me say just a couple of things. First of all, the president has been very clear. We're not shielding anything. The president has directed the Attorney General to release all credible information and, frankly, to go and find additional credible information related to the Jeffrey Epstein case.
And so one of the takeaways is not just that the Republican Party base is somehow fundamentally flawed in a way that's unique in American political history. It's that Trump is a really bad candidate and, frankly, I think a really bad person.
Exhaustively documented on this very program their long relationship, including the footage you are seeing of the two men dancing and leering at women at Mar-a-Lago. We know that one of Epstein's late accusers, Virginia Giuffre, says she was recruited into Epstein's circle at Mar-a-Lago when she was a teenager. And of course, Donald Trump went on the record with New York Magazine in 2002 to talk about how much Epstein likes to date young women. Quote, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy." Trump booms from a speakerphone. "He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side."
Donald.
Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that?
Jeffrey.
As a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you.
For years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help. And I said, don't ever do that again. He stole people that worked for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again. And I threw him out of the place, persona non grata. I threw him out, and that was it. I'm glad I did, if you want to know the truth.
Mr. President.
And by the way, I never went to the island, and Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. I never went to the island, but Larry Summers, I hear, went there. He was the head of Harvard. And many other people that are very big people. Nobody ever talks about them. I never had the privilege of going to his island. And I did turn it down, but a lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to his island. In one of my very good moments, I turned it down. I didn't want to go to his island.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons, does that include Virginia Jeffrey?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know. None whatsoever.
Welcome back in Alive Now. I'm Austin Westfall. Breaking news coming in, some sad news to share. We're learning this from the New York Post, several other outlets reporting this as well. Virginia Giuffre, the most prominent victim of the late convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, took her own life on Thursday. This is just weeks after she made headlines for saying that she had days to live after she claimed to have been hit by a bus. A statement given to NBC News was quoted as such from the 41-year-old's family. It says, "It's with utterly broken hearts that we announce that Virginia passed away last night at her farm in Western Australia. She lost her life to suicide after being a lifelong victim of sexual abuse and sex trafficking." The New York Post says that Giuffre took legal action against billionaire financier Epstein in 2015, alleging that she was sex trafficked at age 16 after his ex-lover and convicted madam, Ghislaine Maxwell, recruited her from her job as a locker room attendant at President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. The mom of 3, according to the Post, also alleged that she was forced to have sex with disgraced Prince Andrew 3 times when she was 17, including at Epstein's Little St. James Island in New Mexico, and Little St. James Island in New Mexico, and in Maxwell's London home, where a notorious photo of her with King Charles' eldest brother was taken. The Post says the allegations became the biggest scandal to rock the royal family in a generation.
My name is Juliet. I have a question. My question is, how many jets do you have and how would I apply to the flight attendants?
I think she's hired. Yeah, I hear you. Now, I had a case, it was very interesting. A beautiful girl who was 17 or 18, wanted to be a waitress. She's so beautiful. She's like a world-class beauty, like the young lady who just asked a question about the actress. She's so beautiful. And my people came, she said, "Look, Mr. Trump, she has no experience." So I interviewed her anyway, because she was so pretty. And I said, "Let me ask you, do you have any experience?" She goes, "No, sir." I said, "When can you start?" You can work at my plant anytime.
Nobody knows how much material people have on Jeffrey Epstein. It's unbelievable. The guy killed himself, and now nobody's going to know.
He killed himself. Again, you want me to get... I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
Has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book.
FBI.
But who? That is that I mean, there's...
Oh, that's under direct control of the director of the FBI. This is another government gangster operation. As a public defender, as a prosecutor who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
Madam Chair.
Ms. Leisure-Fernandez.
You know, it's incredibly shameful that we are here again pleading with the Republicans on this committee to allow a vote on the Massey-Khanna bill to release the Epstein files. Trump is protecting the criminal activity of pedophiles and the people who participated in these heinous acts. The administration is protecting the rich and powerful monsters. that were part of the Epstein sex circle. The American people wants to know what's in those files. And it's not a surprise to me that Trump is asking Republicans to ignore their own moral conscience and ignore the Massacana bill. Let's go over just what has come out recently regarding Trump's attack on women. You know, I'm going to just highlight a few, because if I highlight everything, we'd never get to the rest of our work here. But, you know, just yesterday, a federal appeals court upheld an $83.3 million jury award against President Trump for defaming the writer Jean Carroll after he was found liable for sexually abusing her. Then a disgusting, degrading birthday card that Trump sent to Epstein, calling him a pal and stating that they share a wonderful secret, was finally brought to light. Madam Chair, I ask unanimous consent to enter Trump's birthday card to Jeffrey Epstein from the Epstein estates into the record.
Without objection.
When you see this card, it's anything but repulsive. And this is the kind of stuff they've been trying to hide. He keeps lying. He said this card didn't exist. This is a disgusting piece. We are subject to it because it's our job to make sure we bring this stuff to light. And if that's not enough, yesterday Trump basically implied that domestic violence is not a crime. Quote, if a man has a little fight with the wife, they say this was a crime, Trump said on Monday. And we know in a book the reports of him sexually forcing himself on his wife and pulling her hair out. At the same time, the Trump administration has cut more than $800 million in grants that support victims of violent crimes, including domestic violence. This is an administration that has a track record of failing to protect women from sexual assault. So yes, we need a vote on this bill to know what's happening, because as his own behavior demonstrates, women are not safe in Trump's America. I sat at a meeting with the Democratic caucus and the survivors last week, and they told us that Epstein told them, don't think you have any power or can say anything that's happening here, because I have the banks and I have government. This committee needs to say, you do not have government. Government will stand on the side of the women who were sexually abused, on the side of the children. And so, once again, we implore this committee to pass this amendment and allow a vote on the Massacana bill. With that, I yield back.
Does anyone else wish to speak on the amendment? Hearing no further comments, the question is on the amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. Mr. McGovern requests a roll call. The clerk will call the roll.
Mrs. Fishbach? No. Mrs. Fishbach, no. Mr. Norman? No. Mr. Norman, no. Mr. Roy? No. Mr. Roy, no. Mrs. Houch? Mr. Langworthy? No. Mr. Langworthy, no. Mr. Scott? No. Mr. Scott, no. Mr. Griffith? No. Mr. Griffith, no. Mr. Jack? No. Mr. Jack, no. Mr. McGovern?
Aye.
Mr. McGovern, aye. Ms. Scanlon? Ms. Scanlon, aye. Mr. Neguse? Mr. Neguse, aye. Ms. Ledger-Fernandez? Ms. Ledger-Fernandez, aye. Madam Chair?
No.
Madam Chair, no.
The clerk will report the total.
4 yeas, 8 nays.
They were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden information.
The Justice Department has said there's over 300 gigabytes of records and other evidence related to its investigations into Jeffrey Epstein. Many of those documents have already been released. The FBI first investigated Jeffrey Epstein in 2006 and reached a plea deal with him a year later. The president then was George W. Bush. Then in 2019, the Justice Department began investigating Epstein's plea deal. The president during that was Donald J. Trump. So there's no evidence that Comey, Biden, or Obama, quote unquote, made up the file. That Trump himself appears in these logs. The records show that he traveled at least 8 times on Epstein's private plane. In July, the Wall Street Journal reported that Trump had sent Jeffrey Epstein a birthday note in the early 2000s with a crude drawing of a woman. Trump denied that on social media. Here's what he said. The Wall Street Journal printed a fake letter, supposedly to Epstein. These are not my words, not the way I talk. Also, I don't draw pictures. This is false. After Trump made his social media post, the New York Times and other outlets reported on the many drawings that Trump has submitted over the years to charities. He drew pictures of buildings and the New York skyline. A few days later, Trump admitted that he did in fact draw sometimes, but he said he doesn't draw women.
Sometimes people say, would you draw a building and I'll draw 4 lines and a little roof, you know, for a charity stuff. I don't do drawings of women, that I can tell you.
The Justice Department is also sending some of the Epstein files over to the House Oversight Committee today. Are you in support of them releasing all of them?
To declassify the Epstein file?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you know, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
if they wanted to release.
People shouldn't be hurt, but I'm in support of keeping it totally open. I couldn't care less. You got a lot of people that it could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be. You know, people, because he knew everybody in Palm Beach. I don't know anything about that, but I have said to Pam and everybody else, give them everything you can give them because it's a Democrat hoax. It's just a hoax. The whole Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison. And so a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well. Whatever it is, I don't know the situation with Prince Andrew. Just don't know. Not aware of it.
Mr. President.
When's the last time you think you saw in person President Trump?
It's been a long time. Probably not. Sometime in the beginning, mid 2000s maybe, and it would only have been a social setting, as far as I recall.
And did you ever hear Mr. Epstein or anybody say that President Trump had done anything inappropriate with masseuses or with anybody in your world?
Absolutely never. In any context.
Do you know whether masseuses from Mar-a-Lago spa ended up giving massages to private massages to Mr. Epstein? And I'm not asking for what you may have read, but from at the time, from your personal knowledge, do you know whether that's true?
I don't recall. Is it possible? Yes, but I don't remember that. So I don't recall that, but it's possible. I just want to say, for my relationship with President Trump, relationship's a big word, but I just want to say that I met him, or I believe I may have, because of my father in the 90s.
Yep. Okay.
So my father liked him very much, and he really liked his wife as well, because they were both Czechoslovakian. And as far as I'm concerned, President Trump was always very cordial and very kind to me, and I just want to say that I admire his extraordinary achievement in becoming the president now, and I like him, and I've always liked him. So that is the sum and substance of my entire relationship with him.
I think the DOJ should immediately move to unseal all the Epstein documents in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah.
I think every file should be released to the public the same way as the JFK files. Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands.
When Hank Johnson coming to give you some more ear candy or perhaps an earache.
Died by suicide. You must be blind. You've been telling us you released the file, but where are they?
There are a lot of unanswered questions, but the biggest question is just what on earth is going on?
I don't know what's happening.
It doesn't make sense.
I can't reconcile this Donald Trump
with the Trump that we're seeing right now, the Trump that is gaslighting the public right now.
Trump says he's known Epstein since the late 80s, and pictures from the 90s show the president with Maxwell, who became Epstein's girlfriend.
They were neighbors in Palm Beach. At one point, Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago.
It's party time at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago, and among the guests, Jeffrey Epstein. Trump and Epstein can be seen ogling the cheerleaders. Trump points one of them out and says she's hot. Then he says something in Epstein's ear that has the financier doubled up in laughter.
Donald.
Apollo is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret.
Their wonderful secret.
Soon. Thursday night. You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
So that one of them comes up to you and says, Mr. Trump, you're a very sexy man.
You're a beautiful man. You have fantastic hair.
Well, you're a powerful man. Right? Right? You're a powerful man.
Right.
I want to sleep with you. Now, you're not the type that would say no.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right. No, but I mean, you see a beautiful woman, you want to have that. You're a guy who likes to have everything, right?
Well, couldn't that be construed, however, as
conflict?
Yes.
I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else, and no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
you're like
everything
a doctor.
is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that. But she's accusing me, and so are you, of rape, and it never took place. I made that statement, and I said, well, it's politically incorrect. She's not my type, and that's 100% true. She's not my type. Ridiculous situation that we're doing right now. It's a big, fat hoax. She's a liar, and she's a sick person, in my opinion. Really sick. Something wrong.